Last year's Ford Maverick redesign left many fans quite disappointed with the little truck. While the aesthetic and interior changes were more than welcome, the downgrading of powertrains, general increase in price, as well as Ford's misunderstanding of the market has led to the Maverick being less popular than in the previous years. Thankfully, Ford has managed to rectify these issues, and the upcoming model years will once again set things straight. So let's not waste any more time and check out what Ford has done to make the all-new 2026 Ford Maverick turn heads in the automotive world once again. The 2.0 EcoBoost gets a power bump. The Maverick's powerhouse engine has always been the 2.0 EcoBoost, offering solid MPG, while also being very potent with its 250 HP output. Unfortunately, this engine has been detuned for the previous model year, leaving most of us with a pretty bitter taste in our mouths. Sure, the reduction of 12 HP might not seem significant. However, it's been enough to make the Maverick noticeably less potent than the Santa Cruz, with whom it already struggled. Thankfully, Ford has decided to mitigate this issue by reintroducing the previously available 250 HP output, after they've sorted out all of the issues that plagued it previously. This, with a significantly reworked gearbox that was introduced last year, translates to a vehicle that is both very peppy and athletic, while retaining a great elastic power band. Sure, you shouldn't expect a sports car, however, it'll be more than enough for all of us who need a truck that will be fun to drive and relatively peppy when it comes down to towing and hauling stuff, without going the extra leg and purchasing a mid-sized truck. However, the 2.0's increase isn't going to make it the most powerful engine in the lineup. Oh no, because something else will get introduced with the 2026 model year. The Lobo gets a new engine. Currently, the Ford Maverick Lobo is one of the most confusing trims out there. It comes with the dual clutch transmission and reworked suspension that would make it sportier, if not for the fact that, well, it's weaker than any of the pre-facelift non-hybrid trims. As such, it's neither a good daily pickup truck, nor is it an interesting alternative to a hot hatch, making it, well, quite redundant really. Thankfully, the Lobo will get a massive improvement with the upcoming model year, and that improvement will come in the form of the 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine taken straight from the Mustang and Ford Focus ST. This engine, which will produce around 300 HP, will make the Maverick not just springy but potent through and through. As such, it'll give a new meaning to the Lobo trim level, as with it, we'll finally have gotten a proper street truck that people have been aching for since the 90s. The Lobo trim will also get through several other changes apart from the engine change, but more on that later. Now, we have to tackle a more pressing issue that has also been fixed. Quality control has been improved. Let's face it, the Maverick was never really a high-quality car. It is, by all means, a disposable vehicle, an econobox like every other. However, being an affordable vehicle didn't excuse it for being appallingly built. The Maverick has always had quality issues. However, 2025's redesign and its over-reliance on new and modern tech solutions, as well as overproduction, has only amplified these issues. Premature wear and tear of the interior, mismatched exterior panels that don't align well, problems with the gauge cluster and infotainment screen. You name it, and there was certainly an issue similar to what you thought. Thankfully, Ford has been giving an imperative on turning the Maverick into a much more quality-oriented vehicle than it is now, and the QC will be improved for 2026. To be honest, this was by all means the result of people just streaming away from the Maverick, which both gave Ford a big old slap on the cheek to get their stuff back together, as well as giving them a bit more leeway to focus less on overproduction and more on offering quality. This will translate to better fitment and finishing of both the interior and exterior, as well as giving far more care and thought to make the infotainment system less glitchy and more responsive than ever. Also, the issue of the digital gauge cluster failing altogether will have been fixed too, marking the end of one of the most dangerous issues with the Maverick. Speaking of danger, the hybrid's issue of combusting due to fuel leaking onto the exhaust manifold is finally fixed for good, and you won't need to worry about your Ford Maverick turning into a Ford Pinto. Now, should you expect a Toyota from the Maverick? No, most certainly not, but you should expect a vehicle that will be a dependable companion for years to come, and that will most certainly offer reliability on a higher level compared to GM and Stellantis. Changes to trim selection. As mentioned previously, there will be a change that concerns the Ford Maverick Lobo trim. However, apart from that, there will also be other changes to the whole selection, including the addition of an all-new trim. Let's first tackle the Lobo. The redesign practically introduced two levels of the Lobo trim, a standard spec one that was FWD and was rather bare bones in terms of equipment, and the range topper, which came with all the bells and whistles, but also cost an additional $5,000. Well, as of 2026, the Lobo will come exclusively as the more expensive trim, whereas the mid-range version will be discontinued completely. This has been done to both make the Lobo more exclusive as well as amplify its character as the ST version of the Maverick lineup. In addition, the suspension will be refined even further, making the Lobo a true enthusiast pickup truck. It will be, by all accounts, a hot hatch amongst pickup trucks. In addition to that, you can also expect the introduction of a completely new trim, that being the Maverick Platinum. This trim will be a step up over the Lariat, offering plusher leather seats, taken straight from the Ford Escape Platinum. It'll also come with a bespoke audio system, as well as a higher quality dashboard, wheels that will be shared between it and the Escape Platinum, as well as a chrome grille and other details and trims that will make it look more upmarket. And while this might sound disheartening to you because you're expecting a higher price tag, worry not. Reduced pricing. Ford knows that bumping up the price further, or even keeping it the way it is, will result in the Maverick selling even fewer units than now, which is why they decided to drop the price significantly. This price drop will be most noticeable with the entry-level XL and XLT trims. The XL will start at around $24,500, making it $2,000 cheaper than the current version. This sub $25K price will easily make it relevant once again, and will bring in new buyers to it. And the best thing about this is that you shouldn't expect any equipment changes either. It'll be the same. This is true for all the trims, except for the new Platinum and revised Lobo trim, as they will be different. The XLT will also be some $2,000 cheaper, positioning it exactly where the XL is now, allowing buyers to purchase a vehicle that is well equipped for an affordable price. The Lariat will start at around $36,000, which is only $1,000 less, but we're more than content with that kind of pricing as it moves it away from the Ford Ranger's price point. The Tremor will start from $38,000 and will represent a very approachable stepping stone into the world of off-road pickup trucks, especially for light users. Again, you shouldn't expect any significant changes in terms of equipment, but the fact that we'll get all those quality of life improvements at a discount is a pretty nice benefit. The Maverick Platinum will be a more expensive truck though, starting at $42,000. However, considering the fact that you'll be getting a pretty luscious truck for the money, it's a pretty good proposition nonetheless. Finally, the revised Lobo will start at $44,000, and it will be the new definitive range topper, just like the ST with Ford's other models. Expensive, sure, but you'll be getting something really unique and special for your money. Out of all the trim levels, we'd suggest you either go for the XLT, the Lariat, or the Lobo, as all of these play into the Maverick's various strengths and avoid putting an accent on any of its weaknesses. All in all, despite not going through any real changes for 2026, the Ford Maverick will at least be an honest pickup truck now, and that, in our opinion, is well worth it.